Today I'm going to my first ever concert to see Maroon 5. I'm currently in the theater here in Las Vegas, and it's at the Dolby Live Park MGM experience. So let's see what happens. So as you can see, there's a lot of people here who are getting food and concessions, and I just generally feel excited. I've never paid for a concert before, and I'm not saying I'm a super fan of Maroon 5 because I'm not, but I did want to get something that I liked. I knew a lot of their songs and was pretty affordable. So here I am. Let's go ahead and go in. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with my seat. It's in the balcony, but honestly, I could see them very clearly from here, as can pretty much everyone. I think it's a very well-structured theater where there's no obstructed views. And I mean, I could literally see them. They're going to be performing right there. It's going to probably be like 50, 100 feet away. There are more expensive seats right up front, but they seem to be folding chairs or something like that. And then they have some tables further back where you get all this space and this like mini table. So I guess that's good if you want to have a little dinner. But pretty solid overall. I'm amazed at how many people came out to see this.
There's a time that I remember for you. I agree, maybe they deserve a little bit of it, but when it's this astounding, there has to be a lot of fucking health, a lot of luck, a lot of people coming to your concerts, a lot of people supporting you. And one thing that is never lost on this band, for a second, after 23, our first album came out in 2002. We have songs that are older than so many of you. Not all of you. But the point is that it takes you guys loving what we do to fuel our entire career. And we never take that for granted for a second, man. This is an amazing life you gave us. So thank you! Well, that backwards, let me close you. Cause when I do go out, guys, I'm feeling some now when I go through my name, girl. I do broken down. I need your loving, I need it now. And I'm without you, something we get down begging, I'm on my knees.
So that was my first concert experience. I would say it lasted about an hour and 45 minutes. They started at 8:15. Tickets said 8 o'clock. I think that's to get everyone to get in. What's my thoughts about it? I thought it was pretty good overall. They basically ran through all their top songs. And then they had a couple very quick intermissions, but it was like pretty much back to back. The intermissions were more so like 30-second to a minute wardrobe changes. And they usually had like a little mini movie or video playing. I would have loved it if they went one more hour and then they got into some of their less well-known songs, or at least more than just like the big ones. But I think that's kind of what, what you would expect from like a 2-hour show. Overall, I thought it was pretty solid. I didn't record obviously the whole thing because you can find other stuff on YouTube where if you want to see the full concert. So I just kind of recorded a few highlights, and then that was about it. Was it worth it? I think so. I got a pretty good seat where I could see everything for probably one of the cheapest prices out of anyone here, or close to it. And I think I got a really good experience. Saw Maroon 5. Adam did a few monologues in between, nothing too long, just a few discussions on his life, essentially his experience. And then take a look at the crowd here. Everyone's on their way out at the same time. But yeah, I think I learned a bit more about the history of the band. Apparently they've been playing for like over 25 years. Some of his band members he's known since like high school, like 7th and 8th grade for one, 9th and 10th grade for another. And they all do seem very grateful to be here. One of his little monologues was just about how grateful they were to be there, and how they don't take it for granted, and how some of it was luck, and they acknowledge that, and they don't feel entitled to be there. And I think that's a really great attitude to have. Obviously they've achieved a lot of financial success, and it's a big production. Definitely would have loved it to go a bit longer. I felt like an hour and 45 was a bit on the light side, but I mean, look at all the people who came out. So many people came out to see him. I think one thing I couldn't help but notice is you really have to have stage presence and enthusiasm, because there were definitely portions during the show, especially towards the start, where most people, if not everyone, was sitting. And so he really had to get them riled up and told everyone to stand up a few times, maybe like 3 or 4 times. And I would say sometimes people went straight back to sitting, at least at first. And I think towards the end, that's when like they really started to get more riled up. But yeah, I think the energy here was more of like a chill, mellow, but also hyped energy when a good song came on, which probably makes sense. Maroon 5 songs are pretty chill. So I'm really curious how that would change if I were to go to like a different artist that was very much like a hyped up artist, or the it girl right now. Like, I don't know, right now Sabrina Carpenter is really big. I'm sure her or Dua Lipa, everyone would be on, like standing up 100% of the time. But, or Kendrick Lamar right now. But, different energies, different crowds. And I think another thing worth noting is he did do a few quick covers of other songs. So he did one of Prince, and then he did one of Bee Gees, Staying Alive. But they were more so like half songs. He didn't do the full song. He did like a little blurb from it, maybe half of the song, and then he, transitioned into one of his own songs. So, yeah, I mean, it was a pretty solid experience. It's kind of what I would expect. It's kind of just like a cycle through of all their major hits. Would have liked to see more, but to me it felt kind of more like a taste. And Wow, look at all these people who have lined up to buy Maroon 5 t-shirts. At least that's what I think they're doing here. So, pretty cool overall. I would say, yeah, I don't know if this caters to their hardcore fans. It's more of like, I don't know, a mid-ground, because I feel like the crowd was generally pretty mellow. Now, some of them definitely knew all the lyrics, but it was kind of like half or like a quarter of the crowd, because like when he would tell them to sing along, I would say like there was enough noise where you're like, yeah, some of these people know the lyrics, some don't. But I knew the lyrics, so I was definitely in that crowd singing along. And overall, pretty solid time. And that's about it. I don't want to ramble here because you probably just want to know what's it like going to one of these shows. I would say pretty seamless overall. I mean, getting in, I just parked at New York parking garage, which I heard was the best place to park. It was like a 5-10 minute walk over. There's no problem fighting for parking, and then I just found the theater fairly easily. Now I'm walking back to the parking garage, and finding my seat was no problem. We get the show started, and so on and so forth. You know, I would have loved to see like a 3 or 4 hour show with like more about their history and then more songs, but for what it was, pretty solid. Now someone's gonna ask, why was Adam Levine wearing a kilt or a dress? I don't know, that was just his style tonight. He didn't really address it, no pun intended, but he did mention it wasn't a kilt like halfway through the show. But yeah, you know these rock stars, they can wear whatever they want. His daughter was in the audience. This was like the last weekend of the residency this year. So he did mention his daughter or some other family members were in the audience and some friends. So I thought that was a good win. We got a show where he probably put on more effort because his family was there. So that was that. I think another big thing, oh, by the way, we have a little The Voice prop here where you can stand here and get a photo in front of The Voice prop, which is pretty cool because Adam was on The Voice, which is kind of funny. And you can get in line here and then just snag a photo with one of these The Voice props. So you press it and then it says Adam and then it comes out. I've really seen these things on like YouTube. That's pretty cool. But yeah, I think overall pretty solid. I do feel like yeah, stage presence, ability to hype up the crowd and keep them going, definitely a really important skill set, because for whatever reason the crowd was a bit too mellow, a bit too maroon early on. You know, half of them were sitting down, and that's just kind of how it is. Look at all these people in line for the Voice thing. Pretty fun. And yeah, I would say overall pretty solid experience. But generally felt like it was kind of more of a mellow crowd, which not the biggest deal. I really still enjoyed the songs and everything. And is it worth it? I definitely think so. I don't know if I would pay 3 to 5 times more to sit up front. I felt like I still got a really solid experience where I was. I mean, I saw the whole concert, got the same thing basically. But yeah, he did do one thing towards the end where he kind of walked through the crowds, stood in the middle, and then sang a song. His oldest song, most famous old song, She Will Be Loved. And then he walked back through the crowd. So if you want like a brief chance to get real close to Adam, that's one thing. What else? The Maroon 5 members didn't really talk much. I think some of them did a little bit when they were introduced. Not really even. Not even that, but yeah, overall, pretty solid overall. It was mostly just Adam talking, introducing the others, and yeah, I think it was pretty solid. I think, not that I would be one to critique them because I wouldn't do any better, but I feel like if I could make it better, it would be like kind of more enthusiasm, stage presence, and oomph, and energy, and like, you know, moves, and like a oomph in his voice. I think he definitely has more like stage presence and energy than the average person, but I think there's a difference between that and like a Michael Jackson, or someone who really just puts in 120% into every single show, and you could tell, and everything is just like packed to the gills with a punch to it. I didn't really feel that. So there were like small moments where I was like, is he phoning it in? Is this just another night in his residency for him? And probably not. I think that's just his style. Or that's just where his skill level is at now. He's not at that Michael Jackson enthusiasm level yet. But also maybe that's just because they're Maroon 5. They're known for mellow music. Okay, point is, I could ramble about this for a long time, but I would rate it a solid B+, which I think is a very fair rating, very solid performance. I definitely do not regret purchasing my ticket. I think it was a pretty solid, almost 2-hour show. I would do it again. I think there are some areas, as mentioned, that could be better. It does make me feel like, okay, concerts are pretty special when done right. But also, if you're not really feeling the artist, or you don't know all their songs, or, you know, you're just there, it can just kind of be like, oh, we're going through this artist playlist, and, you know, we may sing along, we may not know the lyrics, we may just see them live from afar. So I really feel like you got to pick a really good artist and really want to see them to mainly make the concert well worth it. All right, so as you can tell, this is literally the walk to New York, where I parked, and it is literally just barely a 5-minute walk from MGM. And I parked here because I found, or I heard online, that this is where it's essentially, what's the word? Cheaper to park?